Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What we're going to be talking about in this video is الحروف بحركة الفتح. الحروف بحركة الفتح means you've already known الحروف. When they say الحروف, الحروف are those Arabic alphabets we read last time or in the last video. بحركة الفتح is what that is apparently new to us here. When they say al-harakat, harakats like this, this is the plural form of haraka, and this means vowels or sounds. But we are not dealing with all the vowels we know in English language. We're dealing with some specific vowels or vocalizations in Arabic. We're just dealing with something like this, fatha. You can draw a line like this. If you draw a line, a neutral line like this, and then you have fatha, you have kasra, and you have dhamma u. So this fatha, this symbol that you're seeing here, when you wanna vocalize it, when you wanna pronounce it, you open your mouth, you say ah. Like if you have alif like this alif, and you wanna put this fatha, this sound or this vowel, you wanna put it on it. If you put it on it like this, you pronounce this as ah. If you put this kasra, this is kasra. If you put the kasra on it, or at the bottom of it, it sounds e. So, and also if you put this dhamma on it, then it sounds woo. It sounds woo like this. So these are just harakats. They are sounds, they are vowels that they can be attached to any alphabet, and they will change the sound or the vocalization of that alphabet. You get it? Now we are dealing with fatha. Like I said, this one is fatha. This one is called fatha. Fatha. And this one is called kasra. This one is called kasra, and this one is called dhamma. This one is called dhamma. Dhamma. Yeah, that's it. This one is called fatha because you tend to open your mouth when you wanna pronounce it ah. You open your mouth ah. And this one is called kasra because you lower your sound. You make it look like you are dragging it. You're dragging the sound e. You make it look like it is dragged on your tongue. And this one u means that you are closing up your mouth. You're closing up your mouth when you're pronouncing this. That's why it's called dhamma. You close up. You tend to close up your mouth to let out the vocalization. A e u. You can represent it in English so that you can easily remember. So you can say this one is a. This one is this is the a. This is the a. You get it? And like it well. This is a, and this is e. Something like that, e. And this is, and this is u. Like this, u. This is u. So a e u, a e u. There are still other sounds or vowels, but these are the basics that you wanna deal with or wanna use now. So harakat, like I said, they are called harakatu. This one is called harakatu fathin, and this one is called harakatu kasratin, and this one is called Harakatu Dhammatain. A, E, U. So we're dealing with this one first. We're dealing with this one first. Fatah. So al-hurufu biharakat al-fatah. So all these alphabets, we were gonna attach, fatha on top of them, and see how they look, and see how they sound, and see how we let out the vocalization, how the sound, when we pronounce them, with this fatha, with this a. So this is alif, like as you can see it here. When you put fatha on it, and you say a. So aqsa, aqsa, aqsa. This is aqsa. Aqsa means the Palestinian masjid, the second qibla in Islam. And you say ba, b, ba bil fatha, with fatha. You say ba baytu, ba baytu, ba baytu. This is ba, and they attach the fatha on top of it. That sound then it sounds like ba. This is ta. When they append it or they attach the fatha on top of it, it sounds like ta tamro, ta tamro. One thing you should note also is that this is a or hamza, in its independent form. When it is not attached to anything, its beginning is not attached to anything, or it's not attached to the tail of anything. And this is hamza at the head of a word, and this is hamza just on its own. It's standing on its own like this. And this is ba in the beginning, ba in the middle, and ba at the end of the word. Ta in the beginning or at the beginning of the word, ta at the end of the word, ta also at the end of the word. And this also is ta at the end of the word. So we're gonna talk about that later, but we are not here to talk about the positions of all these alphabets. What we are just talking or discussing here is just al-huruf biharakat al-fatah, all these alphabets with fatha sound. So we have tha, thalaja. So this is thalaja too, and the meaning of all these is aqsa means the Palestinian masjid. Aqsa, the second qibla in Islam. And we have ba baytu, house, and we have ta tamru, which means dates, and thalaja means freezer, and you have jamalu, jim fatha, jamalu, so that means camel, like you can see in the picture. And we have ha fatha, hamama, which means the pigeon, like the bird the name of the bird you can see here. And we have kha fatha kharuf, the ram, and we have da'ira, which means the cycle. This picture or this figure looks like sun. It's not sun, or the meaning of this word is not sun. It is cycle, yeah. Da'ira, cycle like that. Da fatha da'ira. Dal fatha, it means dal. Dailu means tail, like the tail of this house is seen drooping like that, so that is da fatha dal. So how do you pronounce all these alphabets when they have fatha on top of them? That's what we're dealing with. There are still other alphabets we haven't covered up. We're still gonna cover up other or the rest of the alphabets. Here we have hamza fatha a, ba fatha ba, ta fatha ta, tha fatha tha, jim fatha ja, ha fatha ha, kha fatha kha, dal fatha dal, and dal fatha dal. So try as much as possible to repeat it like that, to recite it like I just recited it. And also, if you can, know all these words, with, the alphabet, it's cool like that. Also, like A, Aqsa, Ba, Baitu, Ta, Tamru, Tha, Thalaja, Jim, Jamalu, Ja, Jamalu, Ha, Hamama, Kha, Kharuf, Dal, Da'ira, Dal, Dailu.